We now welcome to the show Daniel Hill, who played Yuppie Steven. How's it going, Daniel?
Great, thanks, Chris, and thank you for having me on the show. It's an honour. I love the old Fools and Horses stuff. It's brilliant.
You can't beat it, can you?
No, I don't think you can. I did I did about 12 years of non-stop sitcom, and even including sort of things like Waiting for God. It was Only Fools was just streets ahead. And when I was eventually I was offered to do one. I was out in France with my wife and my daughter. Didn't have my other two lovely kids since then. And Natasha, my eldest, we were in this sort of really out of the way sort of little town in southwest France. And my agent was so keen to get hold of me. She literally scoured southwest France and eventually got hold of me. Because I didn't give her the number that we were staying at. I don't think there was a telephone, actually. And she said, look, there's this great part for you in this Christmas film, but they want to read the actual script to you over the telephone. And I said, I'm in the middle of France. Well, you've got to get to a telephone because they don't want you to accept the job until you've actually heard the scene read to you. So I found a telephone, and I sat down, rang the production office, and this lovely lad said to me, "Are you sitting comfortably?" And then read the first, major scene to me, the sort of Trivial Pursuit scene, and I sat there laughing my head off, and he was reading it very well, but even it was just fantastic. And so I flew back, we filmed the first bit, and then I went back to France, and then came back again to do this sort of Punch with Rodney and everything. But so the Only Fools gang are just brilliant, and David and Nick, they were just wonderful. It was a great experience. I loved it. And that one job, I can't tell you, it got me so many other things. For a start, it got me Waiting for God, which is a series I was in for 5 years. Gareth Gwendon, who was the main man, he was sort of executive producer, and he was head of comedy. While I was recording my sort of close-up for the whole scene in the Trivial Pursuit episode with the Jolly Boys outing, he stood by the camera, and as I was doing my close-up, it was after lunch, but even so, he very slowly pulled his handkerchief out of his pocket and stuffed it in his mouth to stop himself from laughing, and tears were rolling down his eyes. And I thought, it must be all right. And at the end of it, he went, "That's very funny." And about a month later, he got me into the BBC and offered me Waiting for God. So it was, strange things come from strange things. But Only Fools is brilliant. Brilliant! I love it.
Yeah, you can't beat it. And so remind us of your character, Yuppie Steven. This was in the Jolly Boys outing, wasn't it?
Jolly Boys outing. Yeah, the Jolly Boys outing. Which is, and John Sullivan, brilliant John Sullivan. He and my wife worked on the Only Fools and Horses Christmas film that was the previous year. And her name then was Olivia Bazalgette, and then she became Olivia Hill. But and I'd been offered that one, but I couldn't do it. And so when Liv had been pregnant with Natasha, and she was off work, having sort of maternity leave, that's why we were away in France, having a quick break. But my character, yes, Steven, Yuppie Steven, is married to, he's Cassandra's boss, and he's a yuppie, can I say, he's a yuppie bee. And
he's everything Rodney isn't, basically.
He's everything Rodney isn't, but he hasn't got his height, and that's the only thing he doesn't have. But he's a yuppie bee, but Del is very impressed by him, and they sit down and have this Trivial Pursuit game, and it's hysterical. I mean, it really is. And then later in the episode, he gets whacked by Rodney when Rodney finds him at home with Cassandra.
Did that hurt?
But do you know what? It was very interesting because Nick, he's got huge hands. They're about 6 inches across each, massive. He's a very, very tall chap, and but he really prides himself on being a fantastic sort of screen actor hitter. So, he's never hit a person in his life. And but he got very close to, he just grazed my little bristles, just like that. I said, please, Nick, don't do it on the take, please. And he didn't. He's a total pro. But it was very funny. And everybody was just wonderful. And all the gang that were on it were fantastic. And it's a long time ago now, But it's funny that there are some scripts which you always keep, plays or films or teleseries. And that one script of Jolly Boys Outing, it's the one, yes, I think it is. It's the one comedy script, and maybe the first episode of Waiting for God, that I've actually kept. And it's there. And every time I sort of open one of the drawers upstairs, it's there. And I look at it and I get it out. And even now, as I'm reading through it, it makes me laugh. I just think, it's just great. It's wonderful. But it's lovely to be here on Meridian and talking to you about it, Chris.
It's great having you on. I mean, Jolly Boys Outing, that's probably in the top 10, if not the best episode of Only Fools and Horses, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think considering the way that John wrote those Christmas films, and I knew because my wife was the production manager, as I said, on the year before, and John was very honest about it. He would write an episode which was half an hour, but then he's got another hour and a quarter to write, and that's like, what am I going to write about? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So he would deliver the first sort of 20 or 30 pages into the office, so my wife would tell me, and then they'd say, come on, John, we've got to get all the locations. What else is going to happen? Well, we're going to Margate. Yeah, no, we are. We'll go to Margate. Yeah, we'll go to Margate. Yeah, but what else? Well, we're definitely going to Margate, and I'll think about the rest. And so then he would just sort of feed the rest of the script in, apparently. But no, it was just brilliant, fantastic fun, and everybody got on. It was the happiest show I think I've been on, and it was just watching everybody who'd worked together. They were so loyal to John and the show, and I think that still exists now. I mean, that was an Only Fools big sort of get together that was organised by some brilliant people, and it was just fantastic, and they all just slot back in again, and there's no sort of, he's bigger than that person. Or
no egos,
no egos. They just slip back in together, and even with me, going in and just doing my, Christmas film, it's just, you're just part of the family, and that's what you love, that's what you want. Yeah, so I had a ball. I had an absolute ball. So anybody out there who likes the Jolly Boys Outing, it was brilliant. It was great fun.
Yeah, and it's safe to say that Yuppie Steven never went back to Cassandra's, did he?
No, he didn't. Once hit, twice shy. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, it's been lovely to talk to you, Daniel.
And you too, Chris. And here's to everybody, who's listening to Meridian. And, thank you again, Chris. And good luck with the rest of the show.
Thank you, Daniel. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, Chris. Bye-bye.